Lying sprawled out in the middle of a night road, like a petulant child, my sister-in-law yelled out loud. I just gave him a chance. He's trying to give up his right to monopolize me. I'm teaching him that's such a waste. She's so overconfident, it's almost like a sickness. A sickness. I don't need that kind of right. Can't you see that John is rejecting this right of yours? It's pitiful, really sad. Your misery is laughable. Are you still going to expose it here? Aren't you embarrassed? After being harshly scolded by me, sister-in-law finally stood up and lunged at me. Not smart at all. No way she could win. I'm Sarah, 32 years old and single. I work at a hotel. My job is as important to me as a lover in my life. My father has passed away, and I live with my mother at our family home. My younger brother, 2 years my junior, married his classmate at 20 and now lives in another state. Our family's long-standing problem is his wife, named Rebecca. She's, well, a free spirit. That hasn't changed since she first came to our home. I'll never forget the words she uttered at our first meeting. I'm marrying John. Oh, there are sweets. But I really like those big cream puffs they sell at the convenience store right now. I don't want these, so please go buy me some cream puffs. My parents were dumbstruck. So was I. Oh, brother, why did you fall for her? Rebecca is flashy in appearance, with dyed hair and eyelash extensions, not to mention her flashy nails. But considering her awful personality, the flashy appearance seems like just an add-on. John, my brother, used to say, I find her whimsical nature cute. But I think it's too much. Really, why did he fall for her? I couldn't help but harbor such doubts. Following that, her behavior during the wedding and house hunting was just a series of whims. I'm only wearing a brand new dress. Nothing else is acceptable. I mean, I am the bride, right? Logically, that's correct. What's a deposit? In my theory, it's weird to pay for something like that when I'm doing them a favor by renting their house. My brother's wife frequently spins these mysterious Rebecca theories, bewildering everyone around her. In her world, whatever she thinks is right is absolutely right. During her pregnancy, she ignored everyone's warnings and went swimming in the sea. She doesn't care about the designated days for trash disposal. In meals, she eats only the parts she likes and leaves the rest. Frankly speaking, she's inconsiderate and selfish. Then, on a day leading up to summer, my mother Katie spoke to me with a troubled look. This summer, Rebecca and the grandkids are coming to stay with us. Really? My brother has 4 kids, ages 7, 5, 4, and 2. All boys. They're full of energy, mischievous in a cute, kid-like way. Their visit will surely turn mine and Mom's quiet life into a lively and noisy one. But, well, as cute as my nephews are, their mother, my Rebecca, is not cute at all. Adorable nephews and the troublesome Rebecca, to accept them or not. Is the whole family coming? How long are they staying? That's the thing, John isn't coming. Mom made a troubled face. Really? He's not coming? Just the wife and nephews? Rebecca, the whimsical one, and the 4 energetic brothers alone. Rebecca is slightly less capricious when my brother is watching. John acts as a stopper for her whims. The thought of him not coming filled me with anxiety. Maybe we should decline this visit. Can't we say no to Rebecca's visit? It's a bit too much for me and you. Well, there are some reasons. Just listen. Mom explained a plan to me. I understood the situation. If that's the case, it can't be helped. I'll help as much as I can. I arranged with the hotel where I work to have more shifts from early morning to evening while my nephews are here. And so, the summer vacation arrived. The day started with a clear sky, the refreshing blue feeling exhilarating. My 4 nephews came into our house with all their noisy energy. They rushed into the living room, one after the other. While smiling at their cuteness, I asked the eldest, Tired from the long trip? Where's Mom? She said she's going to Olive Garden and drove off. What? It seemed my brother's wife had dropped the 4 kids off and then immediately left for Olive Garden. Wait a minute, I didn't hear about this. When is she coming back? I don't know. Rebecca's strange behavior had already begun, and the youngest nephew is just 2 years old, leaving small children and driving off without even making sure they entered the house. While I was still in shock, the younger kids' shouts pierced my ears. What now? The nephew's eyes sparkled at the sight of snacks Mom had offered. Candy! Awesome! Can we really eat all this? Won't Grandma get mad? Their eyes shone with joy as if they'd found treasure, but none of them touched the sweets. Mom smiled and handed out juice to my nephews. You can eat. These are prepared just for you. Wow! Awesome! Mom never gives us candy. She eats it all herself. We can only eat meat and sweets when Dad is around. She says luxuries aren't for kids. We must never tell Mom that we ate candy. Really? My nephews took turns speaking, and I cringed at their words. What has Rebecca been telling these kids? I glanced at Mom. She too looked troubled. The shocking behavior of my nephews continued. They wrapped candy in tissues and hid it in their bags, saving it for when Rebecca wouldn't be around. When a cup tipped over, spilling water, they all turned pale and, sitting on the floor, "Sorry, please don't be mad. Don't hit us." He began to cry. When I turned on the air conditioning as the temperature rose, they dramatically thanked me. Apparently, Rebecca calls this discipline, forcing the kids into such behavior. Watching my nephews, I felt a pang in my chest. This isn't discipline. Rebecca's parenting must be causing deep psychological harm to the children. Mom and I reassured them repeatedly that they didn't need to do these things. I couldn't hold back my complaints about Rebecca. A calm discussion seemed impossible. I had to be direct. But since dropping off the kids, Rebecca hadn't shown up at our house once. Night fell, then morning came, and night again. Rebecca remained out of touch for a whole week. I even contacted my brother, but he just asked us to keep the kids a little longer. I was on the verge of exploding, but Rebecca didn't show up until 10 days later. At 5 p.m., after finishing my work, I was preparing dinner with Mom and the nephews when we heard an engine at the front door. Loud car stereo music echoed into the house. A few seconds after the engine and music stopped, our front door opened. "Everybody, Mom's here." "It's hot. Where's the beer?" It was Rebecca. She was tanned. Her thin thighs peeking from her short skirt were as thin as my upper arms. Her appearance screamed, I've been enjoying my vacation. And in my head, a gong for battle rang. "Excuse me, who are you?" "Oh, Sarah, starting with dementia already." Rebecca laughed, then cast a cold glance at the nephews. "Hey, I said, where's the beer?" The boys shriveled up, huddled in a corner, their faces hardened, a stark contrast to their earlier joy while peeling onions. "Move it! Get me a beer!" Rebecca's shouting scared the nephews. I quickly stepped between Rebecca and the boys. "We don't have beer in our house." "You knew I was coming and you didn't prepare beer? Are you stupid?" "The only stupid one here is you. Mom, please take the kids outside." Mom nodded. Rebecca, eyes narrowed, lunged at me. "What's your problem? Who do you think you are talking like that?" She came at me, so self-defense is totally justified, right? I firmly grabbed Rebecca's arm. Between her twig-like thinness and my hotel-earned strength, I clearly had the upper hand. While we struggled, Mom quickly took the boys outside. "Ouch! Let go! You're strong like a gorilla. Even a gorilla would raise those kids better than you. I heard you treat them like they're just a waste of food. And what about you, not working? Just leaving your kids and gallivanting around? You're the worst. Where have you even been?" "I'm young. I'm allowed to have fun. My husband earns enough, so I don't need to work. Jealous, Sarah? You're just an old, unmarried lady. How long do you plan to be young? You're 30, right? Face reality. You're only 2 years younger than me. Rebecca's face turned red with anger, and she forcefully shook off my grip. She stumbled and fell backwards. Ow! I'm so hurt. I might be bedridden. Give me your bed and bring me beer. You sleep in the storage room. Sleep wherever you want. I had more to say, but it was pointless. Talking to Rebecca is like talking to a wall. I silently went to my room and packed a bag. Returning to the living room, I found Rebecca rummaging through the fridge. She can move just fine, apparently. Without looking at her, I said, I'm going back to my parents' house then. Turning my back on Rebecca's foolish voice, I stormed out of the house. My destination was the hotel where I work, an establishment with 80 years of history. My job as my lover, my workplace as my second home. What's wrong with that? Mom and the nephews had arrived at the hotel before me, waiting. Sorry to keep you waiting. Is everyone here? The nephews seemed uncomfortable in their first visit to a real hotel. I puffed out my chest proudly in front of them. We're all staying here tonight. Here? In this amazing place? Leave it to Aunt Sarah. I'd asked the owner in advance to let us stay if Rebecca visited and I needed to get the nephews away. He kindly agreed, concerned about the boys' treatment by Rebecca. It's the off-season in summer here, so there's always room to spare. No worries about finding a place to stay. There's a pool and a spa. We're allowed to use them. Really? The nephew's eyes sparkled. Quietly, so they couldn't hear, Mom whispered to me, John is almost home. Rebecca's car GPS isn't moving, so he'll start now. I nodded at Mom's whisper. Hoping my brother would handle things well, I led Mom and the nephews to their rooms for the night. The nephews were a bit overwhelmed by their first experience in a luxury hotel. A young chef prepared a simple meal for us on short notice. We were surprised, planning to eat out, but it was deliciously made in a rush, a testament to a professional skill. Thinking about how this was the work of a young chef, I felt bright about our hotel's future. The delicious meal filled the nephews' bellies, and they regained their usual energy. After much excitement, they fell asleep as soon as they hit the bed. Mom dozed off while putting them to sleep. I stepped out alone for a drink from the vending machine. I checked my mobile phone, wondering about John and Rebecca. And just then, John called. Perfect timing. I tapped the call button. Hello, John. Sarah, sorry for the trouble. How were the kids? All good? John sounded tired, but concerned about the kids first, an apology in his voice. He's doing well as an adult, and as a parent, I think. So different from Rebecca. We're fine here. They're happily resting now, already asleep. What happened on your end? Well, it went as planned. You taking the kids and letting Rebecca be free helped. I got the freedom to move and collected evidence. Got her going to a hotel with a man and being affectionate in the car. All on camera. Quiet anger laced John's voice. Rebecca had been shady for a while, sensitive about message notifications, and speaking sweetly on the phone. Started treating the kids terribly too. There were always unexplained expenses, but her recent spending was excessive. She knew too much about new leisure facilities, but she was sly, never leaving evidence for John. That's when he consulted Mom, planned to catch Rebecca's infidelity this summer, and wanted help for the divorce. Mom's hesitant answer when I asked if John was coming was because of this. My brother took the day off work to coincide with Rebecca's visit to our house and followed her. He had secretly installed a GPS in the car to track her. Relying on it, he trailed her and gathered evidence. His goal was achieved. All my restraint in not exploding at Rebecca was worth it. That's tough. Good job. So did Rebecca admit to cheating? But with Rebecca's personality, I doubted she'd admit her faults. How did John manage it? More like she had to. She hopped between multiple men in those 10 days. Faced with photos of her with different guys, she couldn't deny it. Wait, she had more than one affair partner? Yeah, kept saying it was just fun, not serious. But I told her I couldn't stay married to someone who plays around with so many men. She cried, begging not to divorce, not wanting to pay compensation. It's almost funny now. Typical Rebecca. Self-centered to the core. Her ability to think and scream so selfishly is almost a talent. What's Rebecca doing now? She's lying spread eagle in front of the house, screaming her head off. It's such a nuisance to the neighbors. I just called the police. I'm coming over. It must be hard for you to handle this alone. When I arrived at the house, the police were already there, surrounding Rebecca, who was still lying on the ground, loudly insisting her point of view. I'm saying if you don't want a divorce, I'll stop making a scene. Just say you won't divorce me, John. Why can't you understand? After leaving your kids for 10 days to hop between men, you have no right to act so high and mighty. No! Please stop yelling. It's late at night. Rebecca, sprawled and throwing a tantrum, was a sorry sight. John and the officers were at a loss. Married women, get more attention! Men, flock to me! Let me have my fun! Her statement was absurd. I approached calmly and raised my voice. That just means without being married, you think you have no appeal. Rebecca glared sharply at my sudden appearance. I could see John's relief. Tired, huh? Leave it to your big sister. No sane person would deal with a foolish, selfish old lady like you. You're not having fun. You're being played. What did you say? Rebecca's face flushed with anger. Maybe something hit a nerve. If you think I'm wrong, go to those men now. You'll either be rejected or dumped. Afraid of that, so you can't leave here? Huh? That's not true. I was just giving John a chance. He's throwing away his right to have me all to himself. I'm teaching him it's a waste. Her overconfidence is sickening. No one needs that right. John rejected that right. It's pitiful. You don't feel embarrassed showing this pathetic face here? Rebecca stood up, fists raised, but a strong officer prevented her from lashing out at me. After struggling with the police, Rebecca reluctantly lowered her fists. You can't win against them, you know. How foolish. How foolish. She silently got into her car and drove off. I sighed as her car sped away. Then John murmured quietly, She was drinking earlier. That might be drunk driving. What? Hearing John, an officer got into his car and took off after her. She'll probably be caught soon. She was caught quickly, predictably. Upon seeing the police following her, Did you chase me because you're attracted to me? Fallen for me? Rebecca exclaimed. The police methodically arrested her for driving under the influence, thankfully before she caused an accident. I'm grateful to the police for preventing more victims of Rebecca's twisted logic. Even after her arrest, Rebecca kept making selfish excuses. Non-cooperative and a flight risk, she was detained and charged. Once released, Rebecca returned to her parents' home. Afterwards, Rebecca's parents sent a completed divorce application to my brother. He filed the papers, thus severing his ties with her. Currently, my brother and his ex-wife are in court over compensation. The ex-wife claims it's unfair that she's the only one being asked for compensation, insisting that all her boyfriends should also share the burden and confess to every single one of her relationships. My brother has left everything to his lawyer, confident of winning without much effort. Strangely, she's also seeking damages from her boyfriends. I'm not sure how well that will pan out, but I suspect it won't go well. As for custody, my brother smoothly secured it. He brought the kids back to our family home. He found a new job locally and is happily living with Mom and the children. As for me, I found love. The guy is the young chef who prepared meals for my nephews and me when we sought refuge in the hotel. He developed a fondness for me after seeing how I eagerly ate the hastily prepared food and played wholeheartedly with the nephews. It's a bit embarrassing to date a colleague, but our coworkers are happy for us. Soon, I'll be moving out of my family home to live with him. He's certainly captured my heart through my stomach. I'm really excited about starting this new chapter of my life.